What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And bad news for Kevin Smith, and also a diverse slate of cancellations, including Black Superman, have been reportedly shelved at DC, now making decisions on maybe, I know crazily, what actually sells. Shows like Static Shock, which a lot of people really liked, unfortunately. Black Superman, weird. I mean, Static Shock should still get made. There was a lot of people interested in that, but I feel bad for that. Even the Green Lantern series, but Kevin Smith also, it's like a woke economy collapse at DC, and they're going to focus exclusively on stuff that sells. By the way, side note, we opened up a few spots in the Roaster's Choice program. We had a Rwandan last month. I think this month is the Rwandan. Last month is a Sumatra, which is here, the Sumatra Asman. Super small batch, like 600 people in the world will get this, and you can be one of them if you get into the Roaster's Choice program. Obviously, we have everything else going on, but use promo code The Quartering, and you can get in. I know a lot of people were on the waiting list, so I'll leave the link in the description. Development has reportedly slowed on the more diverse slate of DC films and TV series, with no directors attached to any of the projects. Supergirl, Black Superman, Static Shock, Green Lantern projects all in jeopardy. You could see like Black Superman is a ridiculous premise. Like, having a Black Superman isn't inherently bad. Just make him a new character, and instead of being like, this is Clark Kent now. He's had exactly the same experiences as the previous version, but he's got melanin now. I thought diversity was more profitable. Guess not, because SJWs always lie. A lot of people saying it's too bad about Static Shock. He's actually an original character that people like. I 100% agree with that. Someone finally found their balls to put their foot down. A lot of people say they better not cancel Static Shock. See, this kind of proves that, like, a well-written, diverse character, in this case a black character, can still build a huge fandom. Blade, for example. The guy got 3 movies, and he's going on to a 4th movie. Original character. You see, no one asked for blackface Superman. No one asked for Latina Supergirl. Static Shock, long overdue. John Stewart as Green Lantern, long overdue. Just put Stewart and Static in the revamped DC. I mean, it's just the DC universe is such a huge mess. It's like they just literally can't get anything together. They can't produce anything. Like, even with great characters like Superman, why isn't there a new Superman movie every 2 or 3 years? Why does Spider-Man outdo Superman? Superman should be a staple. Why isn't there, a good Batman movie rolling out every 2 to 3 years? Why, like, what's going on? Why can't we get the same actor to play Batman for a while? Although I liked the Batman. It was people said it was kind of boring. I don't know. I liked it. I guess all I could say is I'm shocked. Oh, and Kevin Smith, also, his Strange Adventure series scrapped by Warner Brothers. Smith was eyeing Nicolas Cage for the role of Bizarro in the series, whose cancellation, of course, predated the HBO Max's axing Batgirl. Kevin Smith's Strange Adventures with HBO Max has come to an end. The filmmaker's Strange Adventures DC comic book anthology series has been axed by Warner Brothers Discovery and will not be moving forward to HBO Max, whose representatives confirmed that to IndieWire. Smith was set to co-write and direct an episode of Strange Adventures as part of the anthology series around lesser-known DC characters. Smith recently shared on his Hollywood Babylon YouTube show that HBO Max scrapped the series, executive produced by Greg Berlanti. The Clerks director explained that he was writing an episode of Strange Adventures with Supergirl collaborator Eric Carrasco. The episode was expected to center on Jimmy Olsen and Bizarro, with Nick Cage being eyed for the role of Bizarro. Dropping Strange Adventures kind of makes sense to me. Nobody necessarily knows these characters, and it sounded like an expensive show, Smith shared on his podcast. He added that each episode was set to cost between $16 and $20 million. That's actually shocking. How do you $20 million for an episode? The entire budget of Joker, I think, was $50 million, and it made $1 billion at the box office. How do you spend $20 million on an episode? This is a huge snapback from, I think, this idea that the money was never going to end, that people were never going to stop, spending their money, that, gas prices are still double what they were in 2020. Inflation, as much as the White House keeps saying it's not an issue, is a massive issue for most people. And streaming services just aren't like in the books. They're not something that people feel like they absolutely have to do. But, what's funny is Smith describes Strange Adventures as an anthology series of cautionary tales set in a world where superpowers exist, and in what promises to be the biggest DC show ever made. He quipped, "Don't feel bad for me, I got paid," before adding about the future of the episodes, "We're talking about taking it over to DC and doing it as a comic book because we effing took the time to write the script, might as well hand it to an artist and let them draw it." Strange Adventures was one of several projects from Bertolini Productions at HBO Max, and he has an overall deal at Warner Brothers Television with other projects including Titan, Doom Patrol, and the forthcoming Dead Boy Detectives. The news comes on the heel of the scrap Batgirl movie. While completed, will not be released by Warner Brothers Discovery on HBO Max or in theaters. The shelved $90 million DC Comics installment starred Leslie Grace, Brendan Fraser, Michael Keaton, and J.K. Simmons. Smith similarly slammed the decision to scrap Batgirl, saying on his podcast it's an incredibly bad look to cancel the Latina Batgirl movie. No, it's a worse look to release something that's absolutely awful. DC's in a similar position with Ezra Miller. He can't go a day without getting arrested for doing something heinous, and they've got $100 million into that movie. Now, to me, is he hiding behind his pronouns? It may be easy to say that, but $100 million is a lot of money invested, and that's a character that DC wants, a character that's established. If you scrap that movie now and scrap the actor, it's really bad. Some of the stuff they're saying about it is, they're saying Ezra Miller, they might completely scrap it, or he plays no part in the film's promotion, and they recast the role. They don't know what to do. DC is in shambles. But Kevin Smith, again, I don't care. A lot of people ask, why, what's all with all the Kevin Smith hate? Well, remember that, this article, after the first season bait and switch, Kevin Smith claims He-Man will appear in every episode of Master of the Universe Revolutions. This is after he called out YouTubers who reported the fact that, Prince Adam wasn't going to be in half the episodes. He called them liars publicly on his Twitter channel, on his Twitter feed, but they were telling the truth. Master of the Universe was largely a Tila show, and there wasn't enough He-Man in He-Man. This is one of those, subverting expectations thing, and Kevin Smith got a lot of flack for that. He never owned it. Now, quietly, behind the scenes, Netflix must want to keep the show, which is weird because they don't really seem to stick their neck out for animated series very often. But now Kevin Smith has come crawling back to say that, there's going to be a lot of He-Man. Here's the original tweet. Clownfish, my understanding of Kevin Smith's He-Man series from an alleged insider, Tila is a better He-Man than Adam, and he steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. If true, it will not play well. Kevin Smith ended up quote tweeting that and saying, as showrunner, I really could have used these story suggestions before we locked onto the scripts. However, no, He-Man does no stepping aside and Tila has no girlfriend in the show. But that's a lie. Like, the show came out and we knew it was proven. It's pretty hilarious. And then he said, also, Real Clownfish TV, instead of posting your faux insider info, here's the real story. Mattel made a behind-the-scenes video featuring our actors recording. So a fan took some of Mark and Lena's dialogue and spliced them into old Filmation clips. I don't really know what that is. Despite Smith's condescending denial, word of Tila's promotion on the series lead would resurfaces 2 months later when Screen Rant reported that one major difference between the original series and Revelations is that though He-Man will be certainly around, he won't be the main protagonist. Instead, it will focus on Teela. So he got caught lying. They tried to bait and switch us. A lot of people really don't like Kevin Smith for that. So I don't really care that his show was canceled. I don't really care that DC is purging a lot of their fringe content, as long as it means they can get back to focus on like the high value stuff, the stuff that people actually like. Remember, I'll leave a link to the Roaster's Choice if you're waiting on getting this. Today's the day. We open up a few extra spots, but these are really hard to get blends. So I don't know how long it's going to be open. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. We'll talk to you again real soon.